it's Kugler, and I support the philosophy of DTR. 67 this year. Well, in 1971, I went to Vietnam and spent a year there until 1972. And combat operations has a couple of different phases. One are guys that are getting shot at, and for every guy getting shot at, there's about 9 guys that are in the administrative section. And so twice a week I would lead convoys out and get shot at once in a while. But most of the other time I was sitting on my rear end doing paperwork, and I kind of fell out of running, and I was a little tense being on convoys when you're the first guy in a convoy of about 300 vehicles. So I was smoking a lot, and at night drinking a lot. And when I came back from Vietnam in '72, I went to a track one day, and I thought, well, I'll just run around the track. And at that time, I was about 235, 40 pounds, and I couldn't make it around the track for a quarter of a mile. And so I was so embarrassed that I didn't drink that night, and came back the next day, and I made it around the track. And the next day I went back and made it 2 times around the track. And the next day 3 times around the track. And the next day I ran a mile. It was amazing. And from there I kind of, just to, give myself a reformation from the Army, I started running and running and running. And it was kind of like Forrest Gump. The next thing I know, I found myself running in the very first New York City Marathon that went from the Verrazano Bridge all the way through New York and finishing in Central Park. Up to that race that I was in, everybody just ran around Central Park. Once you get into a marathon where you've got so much to see and experience, I was hooked, and I ran about 40 marathons after that. Philadelphia, Chicago, Detroit, Miami, Delaware, any city you can think of. I'd say New York. I sent a letter into Sports Illustrated that they published. They had a big article on the Hawaiian Marathon, and I had run the Hawaiian and the New York, and that was my line in Sports Illustrated. There's no business like show business. And, to come off the 59th Street Bridge with hundreds of thousands of people in that first race running up First Avenue, and they had a gauntlet where you had about 2 or 3 feet of space where people were patting you on the back and cheering you. You actually felt like a celebrity, and so that was kind of a kick in the pants for me. Western States 100 miles in 29 hours and 17 minutes. I've done 2 Hawaiian Ironmen. One without a hangover. The first one, I kind of got into the party mode a little too much, the first one. But the second one, I knocked 6 hours off of my first party one. Done the triathlons, hundreds of them. And I, really think the biggest accomplishment I've had is with my kids. I took them up to the Disney kids long distance run. I think my proudest moment is watching both the boys
finish their first distance run. I think one was a half mile, and I think the other was like a mile. But, you know, monkey see, monkey do.